Hi, this is Astro Indicator Update, Excursions into Practical Astrology, and this is episode 21. And my name is Stephen, and today's date is November 8th, Friday, November 8th. So let's look at what we're going to talk about today. Well, there's a lot of things going on, so we're going to do our usual market update, a little bit more complete than I usually do. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, Dow Jones Industrials, US dollar. We'll also look at what's happening in the bond market, because that's just such a critical market given the amount of debt that we have at every level of society. And then 2 book recommendations. So to begin, we'll look at gold, and this is early in the morning on Friday. So these charts are of Thursday, November 7th. I kind of know what's going on in the market, so I'll fill in. But okay, so we have gold here. We're experiencing a sizable pullback, which is not surprising to me, because we just don't, in the astrology, we just don't have a lot of bullish dates in November. And so we have some minor things coming up soon. These vertical lines represent astrological dates that usually indicate turning points or can augment a bullish signal. But we have a downturn. We are in a channel. The pricing is bouncing back and forth between this channel. When you do the count in the channel, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This probably could be a 6, could be a reversal point on this trend line. And in the weekly chart, this is a daily chart. In the weekly chart, we do have a crossover in the MACD, which is this indicator here, which is putting downward pressure on the market. But we have been in the oversold area on the daily for some time. This is the RSI. We're getting down to kind of oversold areas down here, as you can see at this point. However, the advantage of astrology is that you can be a little bit more precise when a real reversal is going to happen. So I'm looking at my notes right now, and we have a minor date on the 12th, November 12th, which is this vertical line. And so the 12th is, when's the 12th? 9th, this is Tuesday. So maybe look for something on Tuesday, but I am not kind of focusing in on this chart until we get to the November 21st, which is this next line. That it would be typically a reversal date, okay? November 21st. And then as we move into December and into January, the market has much more traditionally, historically, from my research, bullish energy in the gold market. So we're going to look for possible reversals around November 21. Personally, this is not trading advice, but this is from my research. I'm personally, and then definitely around December 3rd, which is this line right here. You can see it indicated at the bottom. Okay, December 3rd. That is, we should be in an uptrend, I think, by then. So be patient. Play the technicals. If we break below this green line, we may continue down. Okay, there's no guarantee that we're going to absolutely bounce here. But we're oversold territory. We're tracking this channel like a lot of traders are tracking it. However, we have several more days before some reversal point, and a good while, 3 weeks away, before real, I think, real bullish energy kicks back into this market. Okay. So let's look at silver. Silver has done the same thing. Okay, let me look at my notes. You'll hear me flipping my pages here. In contrast to the gold chart, which I said was on the 21st, we may have a reversal. We may have a reversal on just next week, next Thursday, November 14th, 13th and 14th in silver, because silver has come down more. This is in fact, this is a Friday, midday Friday, early morning Friday, that last candle that you see with my cursor. We are right down on a support level. And the next vertical line that you see here is I think it's the 13th and 14th. Okay. That should be a reversal day. Typically, we have to qualify it. Typically, historically, that would be a reversal day in silver. But then it just may peter out and trade sideways until, again, we get into December. And in silver, I'm looking at December 6th, okay, a couple days after that gold astro indicator. And so you see it down here. And so we may bounce around here until, possibly it might take that long for us to break through this downtrend line. So be patient, have stops in your trading. The powers that be do not love gold and silver. So if they can whack it even more, we're trading below this trend line right here, which is not a good sign. But possibly by next Wednesday, Thursday, we may bounce above this trend line. So tentatively, that's what I'm looking at. So I play the astrology and I play the technicals. I have in the background of my mind, I'm looking at the fundamentals. So I'm combining all these things. Okay, we are oversold. A lot of people recognize that. So I'm not sure how much further down we go, but you have to kind of play it day by day. Bitcoin's having a pullback. And it doesn't surprise me because oddly enough, all three of these markets do not have much going on in November. As you can see, big gap right there in my vertical line illustrations. Okay, in Bitcoin on November 17th, this next line, that should be a reversal day. So, one downside to my analysis is I'm not quite sure how low things can go. The horizontal blue lines here are obvious technical support and resistance areas. So we've come down to that. But we have a number of days before we get to the 17th. So play it close. If you're buy and hold, just hang on. But I wouldn't add to my position, and this is the benefit of the astrology. I wouldn't add to my position until I got closer to this day, and then maybe even then let the price confirm. But I'm not adding to my position for five days or so. And then again, oddly enough, in Bitcoin, similar to gold and silver, actually it's almost identical to silver in this case, we have a very strong bullish energy kicking in early December 6th. And actually it's happening earlier. I'm glad I have my notes right here. It's on November 30th, 29th and 30th. We have some strong energy, and that's followed up just a week later, similar to silver on December 6th. So this is personally, I see this as a buying opportunity, even though I'm going to hold off for a few days. Okay, because we should by mid-November be out of this long, challenging trading channel. So let's move on. Dow Jones. Okay. The most manipulated market in the world, maybe outside of gold. Well, I don't indicate it in my charts, but these last few vertical lines have been very bullish energy in the Dow Jones Industrials. And we did, so much so that we've broken to new highs here. But the big qualifier after that statement is that they are past us, at least for a while. Let me change my notes and look at something here. So at least over the next month, we don't have similar energy. We have things coming up, but they usually indicate volatility or reversals. And so we're just going to have to see how this plays out. I see some distinct volatility between November 14th and 18th. Okay, so 14th, and it looks like 19th, 18th, 19th. Okay, down here, these next two. And then there's not much in this chart other than, plunge protection team and, stock buybacks and so forth and so on. So this market, from the astrological standpoint, it has a lot of volatility coming up, but it really doesn't have anything bullish like we had over the past few weeks until the end of December. Okay, so I'm not sure this is going to hold, and if we get a pullback here that then breaks this last resistance level and breaks it, and support does not hold, then sort of play your cards right. Watch out. So U.S. dollar, I know the U.S. dollar has not really been affecting the gold and silver market too much recently, it seems. However, every now and then I look at the astrology because, you can go back and you can kind of see some of these dates that I have here that were definitely turning points, okay? Or they augmented, a bounce. And we have a fairly important date coming up. For some reason, it's not showing up at the bottom of my chart, but that date is November 12th. So November 12th is Tuesday. Okay, so around Tuesday, just watch the U.S. dollar. My feeling is that it could be reversing, but I'm going to let the market, confirm that. I have it in my calendar, November 12th, and I am watching that date for the U.S. dollar. Moving on, there was a very good article today in Zero Hedge by Bill Blain, and its title, as you can read, is "If Yields Rise Any Higher, the Melt-Up Will Quickly Reverse." Now, this is a fairly, long article, but he is just reviewing for people how vital the bond market is, given the amount of debt that we have at every level, consumer, corporate, governmental levels. And we've had a fairly sizable bounce just in the last week. Weekly change in the 10-year yield. And you can see this spike, and this is a 3-year Graff chart. And if you really look closely, we haven't had a larger spike. We've only had a larger spike maybe 2-3 other times over the last 3 years. And so, for those of you, I'm still educating myself about many, many things regarding economics. However, the Fed can have a certain amount of influence on the bond market, but then just the market itself can change yields. And one ETF that I look at is an inverse ETF of the 20-year bond market, which kind of makes it simpler because it's inverse. When the pricing here is going up, yields are going up. And so I can spot it quickly. And here we go. And just within the last month, we have broken out what looks like a bottoming pattern. We have a double bottom, and we have broken out of sort of the neckline here. And we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But people need to pay attention to this, relative to however they're investing their money. Okay, so finally, I'm including a couple books that I either am reading or have read, but I am a hard money, sound money advocate, whether it's precious metals or I think Bitcoin falls in that category. And I'd heard about this book. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but he is a professor of economics, in the Austrian School. Except this is a really well-written book. It's not a thick book. And it's I think it may only be a couple hundred pages or something, but it is really well written if you would like to understand, the relationship between the Austrian School and Keynesian economics, which is what is the primary overriding philosophy, ideology in economics today. And much of this book just deals with teaching people in well-written, easy-to-understand language, what is going on, what is money, really fundamental stuff, and how it influences every aspect of our society. So I can't recommend this book more highly. This is a tremendous book. And then a while back, I read Wayne Jett's book, Fruits of Graff. And what's interesting about this book is that he's pointing out parallels between what happened in the 1920s in their expansion of the money supply and the easing of credit, and the Roaring '20s just came to a big halt when we hit the '30s. And in particular, when the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act was passed, and tariffs were increased for our trading partners all over the world, I think. And the author points out how similar this is to what's going on today. And just recently, I was listening to a interview with Alistair McLeod, I think is how you pronounce his name, from Gold Money. And Alistair is a very intelligent man, a great analyst, and was pointing out the market increase in gold purchasing by China and Russia many years ago, and what that might mean. And in any event, in Alistair's recent interview, he was essentially saying the same thing that Wayne Jett is outlining and describing in his book, the parallels between the 1920s, 1930s, and what we have today. So we'll just have to see. But Jett really examines in detail the amount of corruption that is in the system, and people know that, but the detail in this book is quite impressive. So that's about it for today. Again, my name is Stephen. I do these somewhat irregularly, mostly when I think they seems necessary. So if you want to be notified of my next episode, consider subscribing and hit the like button and all those good things. I have art and a psychology background. I did sports psychology for many years, but I've been studying astrology for over 40 years and applying it to financial markets for 25. I am available for consultations. You can contact me at astroindicator@gmail.com. I don't do, natal chart reading, horoscopes and stuff. I like to concentrate on an individual's current, kind of status astrologically by looking at what are called their transits. I like to help businesses improve their timing of, expansion or even starting a business. Well begun is half done, and astrology can help with that. But also, sort of my expertise is with trading and using, trying to sharpen timing tools in trading by adding astrology to other indicators. So if you'd like to get in contact with me, email me at astroindicator@gmail.com, and we'll go over what services I have and what my rates are. I do accept Bitcoin donations. So again, that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.